and welcome back to the Go Westeros YouTube channel. It's been a long time since I've uploaded anything, and that's all down to me. It's down to a variety of personal reasons. I haven't had the right equipment for a while. I haven't had the drive to upload anything for a long time, but I'm back now with another edition of Where in the World. This is a series which we focus on 3 minor houses from Westeros, one from each, from a different region. What they've been up to, what they've been doing, during the events of A Song of Ice and Fire, what they've been up to through history, where in the world they are, and how they pertain to the overall story being told. The last episode I uploaded was 10 months ago, I think. That's crazy, and I apologise for that. But in that episode, we looked at houses Riker, Vance, and Dustin. But this episode, our comeback episode, so to speak, I'll be looking at House Farman from the Westerlands, House Caron of the Stormlands, and House Royce from the Vale. At this point, I should mention that this does contain spoilers for all 5 novels so far in the A Song of Ice and Fire series, not the sample chapters of The Winds of Winter. So if you're not up to date, if you haven't read up to A Dance with Dragons, I wouldn't continue on much further. I'm your host, Jack, and I'm excited to dive right into it. House Farman is a noble house from the Westerlands, and they are the ruling house of Fair Isle, which is just off the Sunset Coast. They are known for their hatred of the Ironborn, as is a lot of people, to be honest. Their words are unknown, but their sigil is 3 silver ships on blue, bordered by crimson and gold. Their lordly seat is Fair Castle. The crag is northeast of Fair Isle, where the peninsula containing both Case and Feast fires is south of the island. Known members of House Farman throughout the events of A Song of Ice and Fire include Lord Sebastian Farman, who is the Lord of Fair Isle, and his lady sister, Jane Farman, who is the wife of Sir Gareth Clifton. The Farmans come from an ancient line from the Age of Heroes dating back to the days of the First Men, where they ruled as petty kings and guarded the western coast from the Ironborn Reavers. The Farmans knelt to Tommen Lannister, the first king of the Rock, when he raised a great fleet and married the daughter of the last Farming king. At some point in history, when Fair Isle was taken by the Ironborn, one Gilbert Farman incited a small folk uprising and took the island back. During the Targaryen dynasty, during the Dance of the Dragons Civil War, Lord Dalton Greyjoy captured Fair Isle and took 5 daughters for himself for his salt wives. 2 years after the Great Spring Sickness, a Lord Dagon Greyjoy sacked Fair Isle and took 100 women, along with the island's wealth. That's a lot of women. This island really does get shit on a lot, especially by the Ironborn. In more recent history, some years after Lord Tywin Lannister defeated the Reign and the Tarbeck Rebellion, Lord Farman grew aggressively defiant, and Tywin sent him an envoy musician to sing the Rains of Castamere. We all know what that means, and that was enough to make Lord Farman reconsider his position. Another named Farman is Jane Farman, who was Cersei's companion at Castle Rock during her youth. It's unknown if this is the sister of the current Lord Farman. It could be. Who knows? There's not much to do with House Farman during the events of A Song of Ice and Fire. We are first introduced to them in Book 4, A Feast for Crows. Queen Cersei recalls that she, Fat Jane Farman, and Melara Heatherspoon went together to visit Maggie the Frog, which is where the Valonqar prophecy comes from. Jane is noted to have ran out of the tent as the Magi open her eyes, and that's all we get of House Farman. Really nothing at all, and the only thing, is a memory. So let's hope we see them in the future. I don't know what role they could possibly play. Maybe we'll see Fat Jane Farman at some point. Who knows? No song so sweet are the words of House Caron of the Stormlands. They are one of the principal noble houses sworn to Storm's End. Their sigil is a field of black nightingales on yellow. Their castle of Nightsong is said to be a formidable castle and is located in the Dorness Marches in the southwestern Stormlands, north of Prince's Pass and the Red Mountains of Dawn. The castle is known for its singing towers. House Caron hold the title of Lord of the Marches, despite not having any dominions over the other Marcher Lords. Which is... why do they have that title? Who knows? Known members throughout A Song of Ice and Fire include the late Lord Byron Caron, the current Lord Royce Caron, and his bastard brother Sir Roland Storm, known as the Bastard of Nightsong. My lender Caron, who is of unknown relation to the house, is the wife of Peter Frey. The Carons date back to the Age of Heroes, and they are a family known for creating warriors and singers alike. They claim their Nightingale sigil has been in 1,000 battles. Maester Yandel, the in-canon author of the Word of Ice and Fire, states that Nightsong has been sworn to Storm's End since time immemorial, but also that the Kingdom of the Reach once included the western marches from Hornhill to Nightsong. So yeah, it seems like House Caron have been both Stormlanders and Reacher Lords. Both they and the Swans of House Swan claim to be the oldest of the Marcher Lords. In more recent history, in 287 AC, Brienne of Tarth was promised to the youngest son of Lord Brian Caron, a shy boy. 2 years later, a chill caused his death, also taking the life of Lord Caron, his wife, and his daughters, leaving the young Lord Bryce as the Lord of the Marches. So yeah, very sad recent history for the ruling house of Nightsong. We are introduced to House Caron in the first book, A Game of Thrones. Lord Bryce Caron's shield, with its field of nightingales, is seen displayed outside his tent during the Hand's tourney. He is remarked as being one of the outstanding knights of the Hand's tourney, but is ultimately defeated by Sir Jaime Lannister. No shame there, to be honest. In a clash of kings, along with most other Stormlords, Lord Bryce declares for Renly Baratheon at the outset of the War of the Five Kings, and is named to his Rainbow Guard, being known as Bryce the Orange thereafter. The Caron Nightingales are seen by Catelyn Stark in Renly's camp at Bitterbridge. During the feast, he goads Robar the Red into juggling daggers. After the failed parley between the Baratheon brothers, Stannis and Renly at Storm's End, Lord Bryce is given command of Renly's left in the upcoming battle, the battle that doesn't take place. Bryce turns to Stannis after Renly's death, completely switching sides, like most of the other Stormlords do. He accompanies Stannis to parley with Sir Courtenay Penrose, who is holding Storm's End in Renly's name, where he offers to fight Courtenay in single combat, but he's rebuffed. Bryce fights in the Battle of Blackwater Bay, in which he is killed in single combat by a one-eyed knight, Sir Philip Foote. Sir Roland Storm, the Bastard of Nightsong, Lord Bryce's bastard brother, commands the rear guard that allows Stannis to reach the galleys and flee from the Blackwater altogether. King Joffrey gives House Caron's keep, lands, title and incomes to Sir Philip as the First Lord Foote. Fantastic name. Sir Roland still claims Nightsong as a pretender to the crown, however. In A Storm of Swords, Sir Roland is regarded by Stannis as one of the few good men to remain to him after his defeat. Roland helps Davos Seaworth to smuggle Edric Storm out of Dragonstone. He is trusted by Davos because of his fierce faith in the warrior. Before going north to the Wall, Stannis names Sir Roland as Castellan of Dragonstone. My lender Caron becomes a widow when Lady Stoneheart and her outlaws hang her husband Peter Frey. To round out their involvement in the Song of Ice and Fire, in A Feast of Crows, Sir Roland continues to serve Stannis by holding Dragonstone. His fate after the fall of Dragonstone is unknown. We remember are the words of House Royce from the Vale. The Royces of Runestone are an old and powerful noble house sworn to House Arryn of the Eyrie. Their seat is the ancestral castle of Runestone, and it lies on a peninsula north of the Bay of Crabs, east of Redfort and south of Old Anchor. The town of Goldtown is nearby. The sigil of House Royce is black iron studs on a bronze field bordered by runes. There is a cadet branch occupying the non-hereditary seat of the Gates of the Moon, located on the path that leads to the Eyrie. Known Royces throughout the Song of Ice and Fire series include Lord Bronze Royce, the Lord of Runestone, his eldest son and heir Sir Andar, his second son Sir Robar, who becomes Robar the Red, his third son Sir Waymar, and his daughter Isella Royce. Unknown relations to the main line include Pera Royce, the very first wife of Lord Walder Frey, Royella Royce, married to Sir Arwood Frey, and Kyle Royce, a member of Bran Stark's party that went to King's Landing. In history, the house is thought to have started in the Age of Heroes, though supposedly their history goes as far back as the Dawn Age. That means they predate the Arryn Roar quite a bit and trace their blood back to the days of the first men who once populated the Vale. They were ancient kings known as the Bronze Kings. Famous Royces throughout history include King Yorwick VI, who defeated the Shet Kings, who sought help from Andalos and the Andals. The following battle was their first encounter with the Andals. He led his house to several smashing victories over them. The last of the Bronze Kings was Yorwick's grandson, King Robar II, who inherited Runestone a fortnight before his 16th name day. A renowned warrior, he united the remaining First Men Lords under a single banner to oppose the conquerors. These lords set aside their titles, and Robar was proclaimed High King of the Vale, the Fingers, and the Mountains of the Moon. Robar was eventually defeated by Sir Artis Arryn. The history of House Royce is quite extensive. I can't go over it all here, but to find out more, you should read the Wikipedia or read The World of Ice and Fire. You should also check out the History of Westeros' podcast episode on it. Very good. We're introduced to House Royce in the prologue of the first book, A Game of Thrones. Sir Waymar Royce, a young brash lordling and a ranger of the Night's Watch, is killed by the others. Our first introduction to them. His body is turned into a white and he kills Will. Lord Bronze and his two other sons, Andar and Robar, participate in the Tourney of the Hand, despite Lady Lysa Arryn forbidding her knights from doing so. Later, Lord Yon goes hunting with King Robert, and his son, Sir Robar, is sent after them by the hand of the King Eddard to tell them of his declaration of the war against House Lannister. In Joffrey's first session of court, both Lord Royces and their sons are among the nobles commanded to do him fealty or be labelled as traitors. In a clash of kings, Sir Robar becomes a member of King Renly's Rainbow Guard and becomes known as Robar the Red. He allows Catelyn and Brienne of Tarth to escape the assassination of Renly. Sir Loras Tyrell kills Robar in Red Rage and after he learns of Renly's death. In a clash of kings, Sir Robar becomes Oh no, I just read that, sorry. In a Storm of Swords, during the War of the Five Kings, Bronze Yon is one of the Lords of the Vale who wishes Lady Lysa Arryn to ally with Robb Stark. In A Feast of Crows, after the death of Lady Lysa, Lord Yon is one of the Lords Declarant, demanding the removal of Lord Protector of the Vale, Peter Baelish. They sign their statement and demands from the Castle of Runestone. The Gates of the Moon is given to Nestor Royce as the cadet branch. Lord Yon holds a small melee at Runestone for squires only that Harry the heir of House Harding, whom we've covered in the past, wins. Sir Michael Redfoot is forced by his father, Lord Horton, to marry one of Bronze Yon's daughters, Isilla. And as we wrap up on House Royce, wrap up on this episode of Where in the World. I hope you've enjoyed it. I hope you found at least some of what I've said helpful in your quest to gain as much knowledge of this world as possible. Remember to find me on Twitter at GoWesteros. Drop me a comment, a tweet, some advice, some criticism, or just say hello. I've been Jack, your host, and I'll see you all very soon.